right, guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and now we're inside my 2017 911. So big changes for 2017. This is the year they all went turbocharged. So the cars are much faster. They're known as the 991.2s, second generation of the 991s. Now, two other things they got is Apple CarPlay and also a backup camera, which are good options to have if you're going to use this car as a semi-daily driver. So now this is just a base Carrera. So in 2017, except for like the turbos and GT3s, they all used a 3-liter flat six, down from 3.6 for the base Carrera, and then actually 3.4 for the 991.1s. The base Carreras had a 3.4 naturally aspirated flat six, and the S's, 4S's, they had the 3.8 liter. So for the 991.2s, which came into 2017, all those Carrera models went turbo, and they all use a 3-liter turbo. So the difference is the size of the turbos and the cooling. So the base model, which I have, feels the most like a naturally aspirated engine because the turbos are smaller, they spool up faster, and you don't get, say, the big jolt but turbo lag of the S and the GTS. Now, my criteria for this car was Miami Blue and a manual transmission. So I was shopping base models, S models, GTSs, 4S's, 4s, anything to get Miami Blue and a manual, because Miami Blue, I think they only sold like, 300 something cars that weren't GT3s that were in that Carrera trim. And from what I could tell, 80 to 90% of those are PDK. So there's only 30 to 60 manual Miami Blue Carreras across the whole line, whether it's a base, an S, or 4S. So if I found an S, I would have bought an S. If I found a GTS, I would have bought a GTS. But I found a base model. So at the time, I found a base model I wound up paying, I think, $72 for this with tax, $75. And I also had found a Miami Blue GTS, and that was $115. So that was a big difference. So 85, 95, 105, it was a like $40,000 difference to get the GTS, and for, it wasn't worth the extra horsepower to me. With a $1,500 tune, you can make this car just as fast. Now, the GTS would have a better resale value, certainly, because Porsche enthusiasts certainly prefer a GTS over a base Carrera, but is it going to be more than $40,000? No. So why save that $40,000 in my pocket? That gave me a free S2000. That could give you two S2000s for that 40 grand. But some people have to have the badge. Obviously, the GTS has bigger brakes as well, besides bigger turbos, more cooling. Now, values. This car is probably in 2022 at the height, a manual blue Carrera with low mileage like this, all original, clean Carfax, original paint, probably sold for about 100. Now I'd probably peg the value at about 90. I got it so cheap, I think they were asking like 85, 90, and I offered like 70, and I think we compromised at 72, because at that time was COVID, so it was actually a lockdown. I wasn't allowed in the dealership when I picked up this car. So I got it for a song because they were giving cars away in May of 2020. And this car is plenty of fast with the turbos. It's probably around 4 seconds flat. I've seen anywhere from 3.8 to 4.1, and it feels every bit of it. This car is faster than my 1996 993 Turbo, which I believe is like in the low 4 seconds. This car would destroy that car in everything, handling, acceleration, the whole bit. I've had this car for 4 years, so I bought it certified pre-owned, just like my Panamera Turbo. And a big advantage of certified pre-owned is that you get the remaining warranty. You get the remaining 50,000 mile warranty, 4 years, 50,000 miles, plus a 2-year unlimited mile CPO, as long as you don't hit 50,000 miles in that 4-year 50. And I think that's a great deal. So I bought this car. It only had 8,000 miles. It had 1 year remaining of the 4-year, 50,000 mile warranty. Well, with 8,000 miles, I wasn't going to put 42,000 miles on 1 year. So as soon as that full year was done, let me just mute this. As soon as that full year was done, I had the certified pre-owned warranty that kicks in for an additional 2 years after the 50 is done. And unlimited miles. You're not limited to 50,000 miles anymore. You could put 100,000 miles on this. So I essentially had a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty, the one from the 450 and the 2 unlimited miles for the car. So I've had the car 4 years, over 4 years, about 4.5 years. I'm very bad about doing videos of my own car. So 4 years was actually Memorial Day of 2024, and I'm filming this in October of 2024. Not sure when I'll post it. So running costs, let's see. It's about $2,000 for a set of tires. I replaced the rear tires twice after putting how many miles on this car? I went from 8 to 22, so for 14,000 miles, I did the rears twice. So I'm averaging about 7,000 miles with the rear and front once. A oil change at your Porsche dealer is probably about $500. A oil change at an independent that services Porsches, a good independent, is probably about $300. And you could probably do it yourself for about $120. So pick your poison. It's got all the options I want, just coincidentally, and I said my first criteria was manual transmission with Miami Blue, but it's got the sport exhaust, the sport seats, the suspension, the PASM. It does not have sport chrono. So if you get PDK, I think sport chrono is a must because it gives you launch control. And on the turbos, like even the 997 turbos, you want sports chrono because you get the overboost. For a manual transmission, it really just gives you Sport Plus instead of Sport, which I don't think, honestly, is a huge difference. It's a heightened throttle response. But the Sport Chrono, which gives you Sport Plus, gives you rev matching. So when I was driving this home, I said, I'm always in the habit of rev matching because my cars are older, like the 1M and the NSX or S2000. So I'm always doing the rev matching. So I was, driving home and I'm like, I think I'm doing the rev matching. I don't think this car is rev matching. And the dealer called me on something with the paperwork and said to me, I asked them the question and they said, oh yeah, you don't have rev matching because you don't have Sport Chrono. So that was perfect. I don't mind rev matching. If you're new to manual transmissions, you're just like rev matching, like you're going to use this as a daily driver or you want to be perfect at the track, then it's not a bad idea to have the Sport Chrono, but I don't think you need it. So if I was going to spec this car, I would take the heated and cooled seats, the Sport Chrono, the PASM suspension. I wouldn't have got the sunroof. So it does have a body color sunroof, so there's no glass roof here. It's Miami Blue, so it is good in a way because it shades the car. I don't have to worry about heat building up in the car, but otherwise, it's been phenomenal. I believe the original sticker of this car is about 103 or 104. And coincidentally, that was the original sticker of my 993 Turbo. Now, I actually prefer the 991.2s, which is what I have, 2017 to 2019, over the .1s. A lot of people love the .1s for the naturally aspirated engine. Number one, I'm not too crazy about the 3.4 liter in the base Carrera, so there I would probably go S. And, I don't know. I like naturally aspirated cars like the R8 V10 that I have, the NSX S2000, but on 911s, the 993 Turbo spoiled me, so I like my 911s to be turbocharged. So this car, in conclusion, this car's been phenomenal. It's been super reliable. Oh, I had one warranty repair during that 36-month warranty, and it was in the 36 months. So good thing I had 1 year left of the 4-year, 50,000-mile warranty and then the 2-year CPO. And that's why you should always buy these cars CPO. You'll pay a little bit more, but it's worth it. I had one warranty repair, and it was some kind of O2 sensor, but supposedly in order to replace it, they have to literally drop the engine. So it took a couple weeks for a part to come in, and then it was like a $2,500 or $2,800 repair, fully covered by warranty. I didn't have to pay anything, had a loaner car in the meantime. I think they gave me a Macan or something like that. But this car has been phenomenal. So a lot of my friends say, hey, I'm surprised you've had this car, 4.5 years, that you haven't traded it in for a GT3 or GT4. I mean, what's not to, for the price point, I don't think you could beat this car. Even I'd say it was worth $90,000 today because it's a manual and a discontinued color. There's a lot of great there's a lot of good here, a lot of great here. I mean, it's my favorite brand, Porsche, my favorite transmission, manual, my favorite drive wheels, rear drive, my favorite color, blue. So what else do I need? So I honestly think this car is going to be here a long time. It gets a lot of attention because of the color, but it's all good attention. Everybody loves the color. Kids love the color. Your significant other will love the color. You'll love the color. And, you know, every Carrera out there is black, silver, or white, or gray. And here you have, you know, you're not going to probably see another Miami blue car. And I think that's what actually makes, one of the things besides the driving experience that makes this car special. Now we'll drive in sport exhaust here, and you'll see we'll get like the bangs and pops. There you go. Let's hear it again. I think I'm kind of over the bangs and pops, but you do get a heightened throttle response, which makes this car fun to drive. When you drive out of sport mode, then it's kind of like a laggy throttle, like the first inch nothing happens. So maybe that's smoother for the school pickup line or day-to-day traffic, but if I'm just driving around having fun, it makes a big difference being in sport mode. So 90% of the time I drive in sport mode. I think that makes the gas mileage not so good. You can average probably about 20 miles to the gallon with this car. You can probably get 25 on the highway. I never check my gas mileage, to be honest, and you could probably get, you know, 17 or 18 around town if you stay out of the turbos, but what fun is that? So I really never do that. In conclusion, this was money well spent. I can see myself having this car for a very long time. It's been incredibly reliable. And more importantly, it's a lot of fun to drive, and I'm so glad that Porsche still makes a manual transmission. Now, that being said, I would love to own a GT3 or GT4 or a Turbo or Turbo S, and maybe one day I'll get it. I think like the newer cars, like the 992s, I'd love to have. To me, they're more of a daily driver because they're bigger. You know, you get that in all-wheel drive, a set of winter tires. That can really be your daily if you don't need the back seat, and then keep your manual transmission for the weekends. And likewise, if I had a GT3 or GT4 manual, that would probably be my car for the weekends, and then maybe I would make this semi-daily driver. I put a lot of those 14,000 miles in the first year. Probably the first year I probably drove this 5,000 miles as a second or third car, but since then, you know, with 6 or 7 other cars, you know, it probably sees about 1,000 miles a year. So I'll have to change that and drive it more. Any other questions? Leave it in the comments below, and be sure to leave in the comments what car you want me to review next. Thanks again for watching. And this is my 4-year review, and hey, in 6 months we'll have the 5-year review. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.